proud sponsor of high school sports. I'm proud to be here at Grandview High School for the Suburban Blue Conference Championships. We're going to start out with the 4x800 meter relay. The girls will go first. Grandview on the inside. Kearney in lane 3, Platte County. Smithville in the green. Winnetonka on the outside. Vernon Birmingham with us, and the seed time says Platte County is the fastest thus far, but you've been digging into the numbers a little bit, and there could be some surprises maybe in this relay, huh?
Yeah, there could. You know, Platte County is coming in with the 6th fastest time in the state of Missouri. They have 4 individuals on their team that are, 4 of the top 7th ranked in the conference. However, when you look at Smithville, they also bring 2 of the top 8, and Kearney has 4 of the top 10. So it's all dependent upon, as you stated, are they going to utilize those individuals in this 4x8 or save them for later races?
Vernon, you coach track. You know all about this strategy, and you've got a limited number of athletes. You've got a limited number of events that they can participate in. 4. How do you juggle trying to maybe get out to a good start here and win a relay as opposed to maybe saving a runner for the individual 800?
I think in the conference meet, you definitely want to try to set the pace for the day. We're trying to get out and get some points early on, but coaches are going to make decisions based upon where are these athletes best suited to score points throughout the day, because it is a long day.
And we're underway. The 4x800 meter. Vernon, what was your strategy in setting the lineup? Did you want somebody out fast with your first leg? Did you save the fastest for the last? What was your strategy in laying out your lineup?
No, that's typically what I would do. I would put my probably 2nd fastest runner leading off, which is what Platte County did here with Allie Anderson, who's coming in with a 2:28. But I would finish the race with my top 800 meter runner and kind of bracket the others in between there.
Allie Anderson with the lead as they make the turn. 2 laps before handing off.
And I imagine Allie here trying to push the pace a little bit. Being one of the top runners here in the conference, seeing that Smithville and Kearney's going to be able to keep pace here through the first lap.
Allie Anderson with the lead in front of us. Make the turn and head for her 2nd lap.
So those first 3 runners got through there in about 1:10, 1:11 seconds. So really good pace in this opening lap.
Smithville right on her hip. Kearney currently in 3rd.
So here along the backstretch, we're going to see if anyone's going to be able to open up a gap, or Smithville's going to try to make a move, which is what we're seeing here now.
Smithville chumps in front. Platte County 2nd. Kearney 3rd.
So we'll know here shortly that was a good move that she made right there to make that pass, or it's going to come back to hurt her here once we get around this final 150.
Great job, Joey. Stay tight with him here.
Allie Anderson closes the distance.
So Allie makes the move there at 150, and we're going to see who has the better kick here to get the baton to their 2nd runner.
In the sprint relays, that handoff is so important. It's more so or less so in the 800 relay.
800 can be a little bit more safe. See Smithville's making a move again. It's not a blind handoff like you will see in your sprint relays. You should want to pass it safely, and hopefully your runner's getting out a little bit like we're seeing there with Smithville.
Kearney closes the gap as well and moves into 2nd place, so it's Smithville with the lead after the first handoff.
Really solid opening lap there for Smithville. Came in around 2:27, 2:28. So this is where that strategy piece comes in play. Where you put in your 2nd leg, and then Smithville is going to be able to keep the pace, or is Platte County or Kearney 2nd leg strong enough? And we see Platte County making a move there.
That's Cicely Mitchell, who regains the lead. Smithville in 2nd, Kearney 3rd. What did you like in your 2nd leg runner? What were you looking for?
It's just somebody who can, depending on where you get the baton, just somebody who can, keep the pace. If you have the lead, just try to hold on. Don't fall too far behind. If you're someone who's behind a little bit, just try to close that gap a little bit.
Cicely Mitchell completing her first lap, followed by Smithville. Carney's third.
Great first lap. Here we go.
We'll see if Platte County tries to open up that gap here. As I kind of shared earlier, some teams will put their weaker, not necessarily weaker, but not as fast legs on leg 3. So you want to try to open up that gap a little bit to give them a little wiggle room to get the baton to the anchor.
Psychologically, it has to do you a great deal of good as a runner when you get that handoff and see a little bit of gap when you get that handoff. Right?
Yes, it definitely does. It gives you that, it gives you a little safe zone a little bit. You know, allows you to kind of feel like not as much pressure.
So Cicely Mitchell opening up a little bit of a gap now.
Right now, arms, let's finish.
Vernon, we talked about a great day. It is a little bit warm. That play a little bit into the strategy as well as how many events you try to get an athlete in?
I don't think it's, for a conference meet, I don't think it's going to play as much strategy in how many events they do, but I'm certain throughout the week, coaches have been reminding their athletes to hydrate, hydrate, and hydrate as you stated, we get into the warmer parts of the year.
Cicely Mitchell has opened up a pretty good gap now in the second leg, and she will hand it off. Jenna Jurgensmeyer will take it for Smithville.
That's a great leg there by Mitchell. And as I kind of shared earlier, Platte County is actually using their third faster runner here. So the gap, you know, we see the gap at about 50, 60 meters. Allows her to feel a lot comfortable about this leg.
Platte County with a sizable lead. It's Smithville second, Kearney still third. Maybe helping just a little bit on the backstretch.
Probably a little bit, you know, and that's what we tend to tell our athletes to do. You get the wind behind you, try to allow that to push you through a little bit, you know, take a little bit off and allow that wind to guide and push you through.
Jurgensmeyer opening up an even bigger lead now. She comes across the crowd and completes her first lap.
And she's looking relaxed. Good arm action, moving a little bit. Now the race is, now we're talking about the race for second place, and as Kearney will be able to make a move on Smithville for those important 8 points that could come in play.
It's Smithville second. And the green crossing the start-finish line there, followed by Kearney. And Jurgensmeyer from Platte County opening up a big lead. Vernon, how much information do you give your runners as they're participating here in terms of pace or what they've done in the first lap, for instance? Are you shouting instructions at that point?
It depends on the athlete. Sometimes you're shouting out times to kind of, pace them a little bit. Like right now, you might have a coach on the corner and letting them know Smithville's making a little bit of a move and just try to tell them to take it up to another level and finish strong.
Smithville has closed the gap now.
And you kind of see Platte County's runners' shoulders dropped a little bit, getting a little tired, but we're going to see if she has a kick here down the.
Jurgensmeyer turns it on. Pretty good job from the third leg of Smithville here to close the gap a bit. Bryn McGee will take the handoff now for Platte County and try to close it out. 2 laps to go.
And McGee is their top 800 runner, coming in with a time of 2:27 in the open. But Smithville, again, we don't have their lineup in front of us, but you would assume probably their better 800 runner would be anchoring this race as well.
A lot of pride at stake as well, I'm sure, between the best runners when you get that final leg, right?
It is. The juices get going a little bit. And not only that, on the handoff, you can kind of, as you're waiting for the baton, you can see how close that gap is. Now that you're going, it's a little harder to see, but you kind of know mentally how close that individual may be to you as you grab that baton.
And Bryn McGee has opened up that space again over Smithville. She rounds the turn. Heads down the home stretch for the first time.
McGee's going to definitely compete. She is also a volleyball player. She's going to play volleyball at the University of Kansas. and plays for, one of the top volleyball programs here in the city. So she is a competitor, and she's not going to give up easy, even though Smithville is going to make her work.
Should be a good finish. Bryn McGee gets the bell and begins her final lap. Smithville second. Kearney has fallen off the pace in third.
Smithville worked hard there to try to close that gap a little bit. So it'll be about how much will they have left here to the final 200, 150 to see if she has enough to make a move. McGee having the lead there, allow her to be a lot more comfortable, not have to push the pace a little bit, but we'll see what happens here in the last 200, 150 meters.
McGee makes the turn. Still holding that advantage over Smithville. Now she heads the home stretch.
We got through the last 100 about 9:38. So we're trying to beat their seed time here.
Bryn McGee closing it out for Platte County. Smithville will finish second. It's Platte County in first. Smithville second.
Great job.
Looks like it'll be Kearney third. Allie Anderson got things started for Platte County in this 4x800. Smithville took the lead briefly, but Platte County took it right back. Vernon, a little bit of psychology there, just to be the lead runner and not fall to second place for very long.
It does, and Anderson did a good job there of not panicking. Some individuals will panic once they lose the lead, but she stayed comfortable. She understood her race, what her body would be able to do. She didn't press the issue too much. It just kind of stayed in that runner's pocket until she was ready to make that move.
And then it was Bryn McGee finishing things out for Platte County, maintaining that gap over Smithville.
And you can see there, even in the face a little bit, that heat already it might play, like you stated earlier, may play a little bit of a factor. The first hot race of this late season.
Just over 10 minutes. How's that for a time on a day like today?
For them personally, they would probably be a little disappointed knowing the seed time they had coming in, but at the same time, Smithville ran a strong race as well and put, made them work a little bit. So I'm sure they'll be happy. I'm sure they'll come back in districts and try to better this time as they look to compete, probably a top 3 finish in the class.
Officially, Platte County will win it by 2 seconds. It was Kearney finishing third, Grandview fourth, and Winnetonka fifth. Platte County the winners of the 4x800. And what does that do for a team to be able to mark that first place finish on the board, first event of the day?
Even early in the meet, coaches are going to be counting points, tracking points. Even throughout the day, might be making decisions if you might need to scratch someone who could replace someone based on where the points are lining up. So being able to get those 10 early points to start your day, knowing also what you have left coming up throughout the day, kind of helps coaches know they're on pace for what they factored in coming into the day.
So a great start for the Platte County girls who win the 4x800. Up next, it will be the boys. 4x800. Grandview will be on the inside lane. Smithville in lane 3. Kearney in the all black in lane 4. Platte County will be in lane 5, and Winnetonka in lane 6. Looking at the seed times, you would say that Kearney has been the standout here, but again, there's always a surprise in store, huh?
That is correct. And as we kind of discussed earlier, once we get the conference meets, coaches start messing with lineups a little bit. And, you know, the thing about Kearney, they've been successful the last few years. Of course, we can't count last year with a pandemic, but, you know, last few years they've been very strong in the 4x8. So we expect that to continue here this afternoon.
You get a lot of volunteers for the 4x800 relay?
It depends. We discussed this earlier. There's some individuals who can go 8 and 4, some who can go 8 and up. So it kind of varies. But, you know, if you have a couple of really strong 800-meter runners and you have a couple who are able to handle their own, I think you have an opportunity to be successful, especially in the conference and district.
There's this kind of a tweener, right, for distance athletes?
It is.
And we're underway, the boys 4x800 meter.
And again, when teams knowing that Kearney's going to come in with the top time, you'll see a couple of teams and individuals try to push the pace a little bit and see how long they can stay in this race. So we'll see a couple of teams kind of hang out for a little while.
It's Kearney and Platte County battling early. Like Boostrom for Platte County. Al Hoffer for Kearney.
So we see Platte County as a team right now that's looking to push this pace a little bit and try to make Kearney work.
All right, Bo, you good? Ready?
I will say the Kearney runner looks real relaxed right now. Doesn't look to be pressured much running his race.
It's Kearney just by an edge as they complete the first lap.
Yeah, both of those runners got through the first quarter, about a minute, so really good pace.
Smithville currently running third, but right now it's Platte County and Kearney battling down the backstretch.
Yeah, the Kearney runner just looks a lot more relaxed right now, so I expect him to try to make a move here like the last 125 to 100 meters to see if he can open up a little bit.
Boostrom pulls along his outside shoulder. There's still Kearney in the lead. Kearney will have the lead as they make the first handoff. Joe Marshall will take it for Kearney. Jace Trimble for Platte County.
We'll see Marshall here. He had a little bit of a lead getting this baton, but we'll see him try to open up this gap a little bit on his first lap.
He has been able to open up a little bit of a lead now.
You got running like that, you can get rid of the stick earlier.
Kearney out quickly here in the second leg of the 4x800.
You did that to him when you were comfortable, but if you're running up on him, play sticks, you can get rid of that sucker.
Joe Marshall doing a job for the Bulldogs.
Definitely looks like he's trying to open up this lap to try to give his third leg a decent lead once they get back around. Looks smooth, looks relaxed.
Joe Marshall with a sizable lead now for Kearney over Jace Trimble in Platte County.
And even though he has this sizable lead, I expect him to even try to create even a larger gap once he get around final 200 meters. He's running strong. I think he has another kick in him once he get around that corner.
Smithville running third, but right now it's Kearney with a good lead over Platte County. Joe Marshall makes the turn. It's a pretty good kick left. hand it off to Jake Gregory. As Kearney will start the third leg.
So this could be where we see the chess game here based on who has the stronger third leg. Could be a possibility. Platte County might have saved their stronger of the middle legs for their third leg and see if there's any opportunity to close this gap at all.
Almost a 10-second lead now for Kearney as Jake Gregory takes it over for Kearney. Andrew Plymel for Platte County. Jake Gregory down the stretch now for Kearney.
There's definitely a different mindset in play depending on how big of a lead you have and how much you have to work. And you can tell he's very relaxed running out front.
Still Platte County in second.
You know, an important thing here for Kearney, even though this race, they have a great gap here and it looks like they might have the potential to run away from this, they're still wanting to run one of their better times of the year, as we talked about prior to the broadcast. You want to put out PRs, you want to put out season best as we're entering championship season. So even though it's a wide gap, they're still looking to put down really strong times here today.
Would you like your runners to post a little something as you head into kind of championship season too, to let everybody else see kind of what you've been able to do so far?
Well, it's definitely a factor. Coaches spend a lot of time at this point of the year looking at results, looking at competition, and you see a team that might be coming in 10 or 15 seconds faster than you. It does play a little bit of a mental game with not only the athletes but the coaches, with the determining lineups where they're going to put certain athletes.
Good job by Jake Gregory. Hands it off now to Kyler Chappell, who will run it for Kearney. County just making their handoff.
So even here, we'll see Platte County. He's moving really well. He's going to try to close this gap a little bit. Still, he's gotten down to about 60, 70 meters, but we'll see how much energy that takes to close that gap. If he has enough there to get through the final 400.
Gavin Jenks for Platte County. Still with a lot of ground to make up.
He's going to give it a shot today.
Does Gavin Jenks have enough? Kyler Chappell starts his final lap.
That is going to be the question. How much energy did he use there on that first lap? The leader up front seems to be running relaxed. He might have a lot more in the tank, but you saw him just drop his head a little bit as well. So we don't know how much he has left, but we see him get his arms pumping a little bit more, trying to find that last win there. Looks like he has a lot left. You can tell he looked a lot relaxed going through his first 600 meters or so, and he was able to find that second gear there around 200 meters to finish us off.
Kyle Chappell down the home stretch. And that'll do it for Kearney. Winners of the 4x800. Platte County will finish second. This was the first laid for Kearney, and Kyle Hoffer doing a pretty good job of holding Platte County off there in the opening leg.
Yeah, they definitely ran neck to neck through the first.
Joe Marshall took over on the second leg. Increased the lead for Kearney. Jake Gregory ran the third, and then Kyler Chappell finished it off. Kearney, the winner of the 4x800, 8:36 their time. More to come from Grandview, the Suburban Blue Conference Championships here on Spectrum Sports. A great memory for us here at Spectrum Sports as we bring you back to the Suburban Blue Conference Track Championships. Lee Fleisig, Vernon Birmingham with you, and we get set for the girls' 100-meter hurdles. Vernon, these are timed finals. We won't have a preliminary and then a final, so we'll run 2 heats here, and the best time will take the win. What's the strategy here for the girls' 100-meter hurdles?
Well, here we'll look for all of the hurdlers to get out fast to hurdle number 1. You know, most hurdlers trying to get 8 steps to hurdle number 1, then just fly through them, try to 3-step through them. Some of these early races, we might see individuals 4-step or 5-step, but the goal of hurdlers is try to get through them clean. You know, try not to hit as many as possible. If you hit them, make sure your momentum's still going forward and your technique's good.
All right, here's the first heat. Nick Taylor in lane 4. First seed time in this group from Ruskin High School.
Here we go. Stay open. Here we go. Stay open. Stay open.
That's Autumn Ash of Kearney.
Yeah, so far, everyone's clean through them.
All right, all of you people that are holding blocks after this race.
So that first heat is Autumn Ash.
As I kind of said, you'll notice there we see some left leg, some right and left. So it's just based on how many numbers of steps you're getting through the hurdles. We see there the leader there, 5-stepping left leg lead.
So Autumn Ash at 20.54, Heat 1 winner. And she'll hope that that holds up as we get ready for heat number 2.
Now, one thing we're seeing here, we discussed a little bit during the break, the wind's picked up a little bit, and that wind is going to hit them in the face coming down the track. So
saw Mia Salzman there of Platte County, right next to her teammate Reese Pickett. Ava Lawless. Amaya Davis from Winnetonka.
And Davis is looking to improve on her, good seat time of 14.77 that she got early in April.
Leah Dove on the inside lane. Morgan Wood next to her. That's Davis out early. Davis is clean thus far. Amaya Davis with an impressive run.
Really strong run there by Davis. Great technique, did a good job of pulling through her trail leg. Did a good job of getting out fast, pull through the hurdles. Davis has continued to grow as a lead hurdler. She signed with Murray State University here recently. Her coach Cesar Morales done a good job. I see a lot of video of her online, getting a lot of work in the hallways during the wintertime, out in the cold, and that's the type of work it takes to be successful here as a hurdler.
15.69 for Amaya Davis.
Again, she ran into a little bit of a headwind, but that's a very good time.
Ava Lawless of Kearney is second. Salzman from Platte County third.
So the tough thing, I mean, she had a little competition there. The tough thing a lot of time in races like hurdles is you want to be pushed a little bit and have somebody kind of close to you to help push you through and help you run a faster time. And she was pushed a little bit through the first couple hurdles, but then she kind of was out there on her own.
And we change the hurdles here and get ready for the boys 110s. Well, track meets, maybe unlike any other high school sport, relies on so many volunteers, and I know you've been through that as well. And to get the track set, to get the hurdles set, not to mention all the field events that are going on. Boy, they play such a crucial role in high school sports, especially in track and field.
Especially in hurdles, especially you want to keep the race moving. You know, oftentimes, like you said, you have to find hurdle jockeys to come out and help. But, you know, the solid meet directors do a good job of having hands ready, hands on deck in order to get hurdles moved and get them raised to be able to keep the meet moving at a good pace.
Vernon, you've coached so many athletes. Do you sometimes, especially when you get a younger athlete, I know your youth program is really starting to begin here in the next couple of weeks. Do you start talking to kids about events as you see where they fit, maybe somebody you think is a better fit for a hurdler, an event that maybe they've never ever thought of, and maybe try to steer them into trying it and giving it a shot?
No, I think you're dead on there, and that's what we do within our organization, our program. You know, one thing we've always been really big about is try as many things as you can, especially if you're athletic and have the athletic ability, and we find out what fits and what sticks. So there's been numerous times where individuals who weren't hurdlers end up becoming really good hurdlers or high jumpers or long jumpers, and we just look at athletic ability and try not to pigeonhole them in one or two events. Then eventually, once you get to this level, you start kind of narrowing your focus a little bit, but experiment and try as much as you can until you kind of find out one or two things, or you might become a multi-event like a decathlete or heptathlete.
So this will be the first heat in the boys 110-meter hurdles. It seems like football players make good hurdlers, or maybe hurdlers make good football players. I'm not sure which way that goes, but there's some carryover there too, probably, isn't there?
There is. You know, the flexibility piece, the unfortunately sometimes falling on the ground piece. Right. You know, we always tell our hurlers, you're not a hurdler until you hit the ground a time or two.
So this is heat number one. Dominic Spears of Platte County will be in lane 6. Julian Rogers of Winnetonka in lane 5. Caden Wirtz in lane 4 from Winnetonka, and Spencer Hay of Platte County will be on the inside.
And I kind of mentioned Cesar Morales earlier from Winnetonka. He's done a good job with his hurdle program in the last few years, and it'll be interesting to keep an eye on them over the next couple of years with some of these gentlemen here.
First heat is off. Spencer Hay got off to a slower start, but he's trying to make up room. Julian Rogers of Winnetonka takes the lead. And Julian Rogers is through the finish line first.
Second call, boys and girls 100-meter dash. Second call, boys and girls 100-meter dash.
16.61 for Julian Rogers. And you saw Spencer Hay unfortunately got off to, looked like he slipped on his start.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of slipped out the blocks a little bit. And, you know, the hurdles is one of those events where if you have a hiccup at the beginning, it's going to be tough to catch back up. And as I stated earlier, you want to be certain number of steps to hurdle one. If you're not there, it's going to be hard to kind of get back in rhythm, get back in technique. And hurdles is a rhythm race. So once that bends a little bit, you find yourself in a little bit of trouble.
So Julian Rogers at 16.62 ahead of his seed time of 17.56.
After this race, you'll pick the blocks up and walk them up to the next line.
He looks happy. He looks like to be very happy with his time today. And as we shared earlier, this time of the year you want to be at your best and be able to come out here and do it in any conference meet where we'll see if that time is able to hold up for any points potentially.
Aiden Wirt of Winnetonka was second in that heat. Zachary Grace, good look at him from Kearney. Will be in lane 2. Jalen McGee from Grandview will be in lane 3. Luke Nolan from Kearney High School in lane 4. Lowest seed time thus far. Brett Foster from Smithville in lane 5.
On your mark.
Chandler Steinmeier from Platte County in lane 6.
The middle of the track is where a lot of the action will be here in this race. You mentioned Luke Nolan, 14.94 just last week for a season best, and Jalen McGee is a strong hurdler as well as Foster. So again, competition should bring out the best here.
Set.
Good start for Rhett Foster, but here comes Luke Nolan. Pushed by Jalen McGee. It's going to be a good finish. Brett Foster, Luke Nolan, Jalen McGee, all pushing towards the finish.
When Foster got out really strong there for Smithville, and looks like he hit a hurdle or two that kind of threw his rhythm off, and Nolan was able to capitalize.
Take a look at the finish camera. Man, is that close?
We said the middle of the track would be where the action was going to happen on that race.
And it's Luke Nolan at 15.23. Taking it. Brett Foster from Smithville is second. And Jalen McGee from Grandview at 15.42 is third. Good finish here in the 110-meter hurdles.
Really good finish there. And
all right, we'll take a break. The 100-meter dash coming up next here at the Suburban Blue Conference Championships on Spectrum Sports. We're back here at the Suburban Blue Conference Championships. Birmingham with us as we get ready for the 100-meter dash, and it's the race of races, right? I mean, it's everybody can relate to the 100 meters. Everybody knows what a good 100-meter time is, and it's determines the fastest man, the fastest woman on earth. It's kind of the headline race in a lot of meets, isn't it?
it is. It is that race where individuals, try to take state claim as the fastest in the city, the fastest in the conference, and we definitely look forward to seeing some fast times today. They are going to hit a little bit of headwind, but we still should see some good times out here this afternoon.
Good look there at Camia Warren Jeter from Ruskin High School. She will run in the first of 3 heats. Janice Berry of Winnetonka is in lane 4. Johnny Sussex of Winnetonka in lane 3.
Next seat.
It's Essex in lane 3 early. Closing is Berry. And it's going to be Berry. Janice Berry of Winnetonka.
Berry did a good time there. Good job of shifting gears.
14.17 for Berry, excuse me.
No, it looks like she was a little slow out the blocks, but about 50, 60 meters in, she was able to get back up to top speed and finish this race off strong to get the win.
Good stretch at the line.
And the 100 meters is one of those races where your start is everything. So, we're looking to see how they get out the blocks, making sure they're powering out the blocks, making sure they have a good drive phase going. When all of those things are in sync, we have the tendency to see a good run.
So this will be heat 2 of 3. Molly McBratney of Platte County in lane 2. Her teammate Riley Smith next to her in lane 3. Leah Sewell of Ruskin High School in lane 4. Lily Filger from Kearney in lane 5. Hannah Mann from Platte County in lane 6. And Alicia Hand from Kearney in lane 7.
So as I kind of mentioned, you see individuals sitting down there, sitting on the blocks with their feet. And again, that start's so important, where sometimes if no one's sitting on those blocks, they might slip and cause them to stumble out of the block. So if you're ever wondering why you see individuals sitting there, as they ensure or help them ensure that they get a good start.
Clean start. Riley Smith out early. Hannah Mann closing. Like Hannah Mann from Platte County. Hannah Mann at 13.75.
Really good starts for everyone across the board. You see out there on the outside, Platte County is making a late push, late drive, good arm action there to get back in this race. You see her finish out across the finish line first.
Excuse me, it's Riley Smith. Riley Smith at 13.57. So Riley Smith, our leader after the second heat.
So again, even in the 100 meters, it's a technical race. Oftentimes people think you just get out there and just run and be fast. But you know, arm action, arm movement, knee drive, all of those things are crucial in ensuring that you run a strong 100-meter dash.
Did you try to get your runners to stay low for a certain number of steps out of the blocks? Is there a count that they use in their head, or just a feel of staying as low as they can to start?
It kind of varies depending on the athlete. But a lot of them it's the feel. You want to get out. When I say dry phase, you're driving out, keeping your head down, and keeping your body positioned at a certain level until you get a little bit into the race. The goal is not to get the top speed too fast, and that happens often when individuals just pop up out the blocks and stand straight up. They're using a lot of that energy early on, where if you're in a dry phase, you'll see individuals not getting the top speed to about 40 or 50 meters, and you will see that here in this race probably.
Good look at Shelby Singleton from Kearney High School. She's in lane 1. Zaire Robinson in lane 2. Nia Shields will be in lane 3 from Raytown South. Zaya Akins from Raytown South in lane 4. Right there, one of the runners to watch.
And she's coming in with the second fastest time in the whole state of Missouri.
And Akins is out early. It's Akins running away in the 100 meters. Wow! Zay Akins with no doubt.
And everything we just talked about, you see right here. You see her drive out, head stays down, body position down, and she starts coming up, getting up. And now you see her starting to break away in this race because she's reaching top speed in the middle of the race, and nobody's able to catch her.
Zaya from Raytown South at 12.27. She'll take the 100-meter dash. That's an impressive performance.
It is, and again, she run into a little headwind. You know, she's coming in with 11.87, but we're going to see more from her this afternoon and some relays in the open quarter. You know, she's one of the premier runners in the state of Missouri. Not only the state of Missouri, one of the premier runners in the entire country. You know, she's a multiple-time national champion. I'm just glad to see her back out here. I know a couple years ago she suffered an injury, so to see her, I think being out last year might have helped her a little bit, fully recover, and we're going to continue to see her get stronger and stronger and continue to dominate here in the Kansas City area.
So congratulations to Zaya, who wins the girls 100 meters. It'll be the boys 100 meters. Coming up next. Vernon, everyone has their own setup, right? I mean, everybody's got a feel for how far back you want that back foot, how close you want your front foot. Just years of experience and feel for what you like.
It is, and as you know, we talked a little bit earlier about the start so crucial, and depending on how you're going to set your blocks, what type of power you're looking to get out the blocks, all of those things play a major factor in how you start your race. And again, some individuals, it's about feel. It's about what's comfortable, what's going to allow you to be in best position to fire out the blocks, and it varies for every athlete. As we see here, we'll see in lane 3, athlete won't even use the block, so it kind of varies.
You don't see that very often, though, do you?
Not often. You see it here and there. Depends on if anything's hurting sometimes or just not comfortable with them.
That's D'Angelo Harrison from Winnetonka. All 3 runners from Winnetonka.
Let's go.
Monty Akins in lane 5 takes the early lead. He's able to finish it off. .50 for Akins.
A good start for all 3 athletes. See Akins, really good arm action there. Looks relaxed. Good knee drive.
What do you look for in that arm action? What do you want your athletes to do?
Personally, we just want good, fast arm action. It varies. Some athletes just aren't comfortable, some are. But, we always tell our athletes, hip to cheek, take your arms through your hips, get them up to your cheek, and just get them moving. And we always tell them those legs are moving, those arms are moving as well. So it's just get them going. Sometimes you get athletes who cross their body with their arms, which could be a hindrance. So it kind of varies on the athlete. Some athletes, it's hard to break bad habits. We try to teach them early on, hip to cheek, and do a lot of drills to emphasize that.
Safe to say a lot of young runners don't use their arms properly, and athletes in other sports don't use their arms as well as they could?
It's definitely an accurate statement. And, all the coaches, all the strong coaches spend a lot of time early on ensuring that the arm action, the knee drive, all of those things are proper. If we can get those things in line early on, it's going to allow the athlete to be much more successful, like you said, not only in track, but whatever other sports that they're thinking about competing in.
All right, this is heat number 2 of 3 for the boys 100 meters. Quentin Roll of Raytown South in lane 1, Mike Moore of Ruskin in lane 2, Xavier Weeks in lane 3, Garrett Smith, lane 4 from Platte County, Trevor Scott from Platte County in lane 5, Johnny Booker in lane 6.
Set.
Lane 3, let's go.
Good early break from Trevor Scott. Platte County looking to go 1-2 in that second heat.
I want you to look at Trevor Scott there for Platte County. You see his drive phase there, his head's down. He's building speed. Then you see him stand up, face up. That's what we're looking for in our sprinters. To have a good drive phase allows you to get the top speed and be able to have a good acceleration at the end.
Good run from Trevor Scott, 11.66. He's the leader now in this boys 100 meter with the final heat to follow.
Final results of the girls' javelin. In 6th place, Tessa McGee of Platte County. 5th place, Ashton Gray of Kearney. 4th place, Arlette Lara of Winnetonka.
Hang on to your hats because this last heat in the 100 is going to be a fast one. These seat times are all pretty close, and we've got some pretty good athletes coming up here in the final heat.
It is. We'll see in the middle of the track a lot of times that are right there bundled up, but even this whole heat here, everyone's pretty close, pretty consistent. So again, competition does a lot. We'll see if a dark horse pulls out here to grab this one from the outside or from the middle of the track will be our winner.
We will see Jordan and Holly Nelson from Ruskin High School in lane 1.
Gentlemen, come back and stand by your blocks, please.
Luke Noland in lane 2. Kaylin Wright in lane 3 from Grandview. Gerard Weddington from Grandview in lane 4.
No, Nolan just finished the 110 hurdle, so we'll see what he has left here in another high-impact, fast race.
Victor Swain Cambo from Platte County in lane 5. Will Dolliner in lane 6 from Kearney. Vincent Wilson in lane 7 from Grandview. Trayvon Bray Howard from Raytown South in lane 8.
Set.
On the cart, please.
Gerard Weddington runs out early. Can he hold on? Good push from Luke Nolan. Gerard Weddington. 11.37.
Really fast heat. Again, we see Weddington, good dry phase, and I'm going to keep stressing that. That's what caused the separation there in the middle of this race. We saw Nolan make a late push, but Weddington did a good job of getting out, powering through the first 20 meters.
See the stretch of the finish. Just ahead of Luke Nolan. Good run from Gerard Weddington. 11.37. Boy, those eyes tell the story too, don't they? They were past the, it wasn't at the finish line, it was past the finish line. You can see him looking ahead. Good run from Weddington. Zaya Akins wins the girls 100. Coming up next, it's the 4x200 at the Suburban Blue Conference Championships.
So Raytown South will be in the middle of the track coming in. Seed time like 2 seconds faster than the rest of the field. 9th fastest time in the state thus far this season.
Good look at Winnetonka there in lane 2. Raytown South in lane 4. Platte County in lane 5.
See Platte County doing a good job of breaking the stagger. Raytown South not too far behind.
And Salzman of Platte County with a nice opening leg.
Really strong wedge from lane 2, Winnetonka as well. Now, for those who don't watch track as often, you kind of know who's in the lead by who's passing that baton first. They could be side by side here, but due to the stagger, it's important to see who's passing off that baton.
Platte County with the lead in the next handoff. Winnetonka still with a good run going.
Kearney's moving well in lane 2, 3. County passing the baton first.
Haley Luna. Around the turn. Kearney hot on her heels. But it's Platte County. Haley Luna trying to hang on for first. And it looks like it's Platte County at the finish line.
Great run there from Platte County. It looked like they were going to fade there a little bit on the third leg, but finished it off to the anchor. Luna brought it home for the Pirates.
147.78.
We'll see here this change taking place. You see Luna here bringing it home for Platte County. Kearney tried to give it a run there, but the lead was just enough there for Luna to power through. Good form, good run there for Platte County. Another important 10 points.
Third place is Jay Shields of Raytown South. Second place is Katie Westman of Grandview. And first place is time of 12.27 seconds. Zaya Akins of Raytown South.
So 147.78, that's just below their seed time, so really good run for Platte County.
And at this point of the, this point of the season, championship season, you see consistency there. What you don't want to do is run slower. so they're right there in the same ballpark. They would probably like to run a little bit faster. However, you still stand steady and look to continue to progress here through the next district championships that should be coming up next.
Big high five for Platte County. And now it'll be the boys 4x200 meter relay.
Our next event is the boys 4x200 meter relay. This event will feature in lane 1, Raytown South. Team of Chris Lemons, Johnny Booker, Craig Slaughter, and Trayvon Bray.
On these relays here, especially in big meets, big championship meets, the pass is so important. Sometimes you'll see athletes get a little anxious because the competition's going. Everybody's so close. You might get a runner leave out too early. Stick doesn't get around as well. We see that often in 4x1, but we see it here in 4x2 as well, or individuals leave too soon because they might think a runner's coming and they might fade a little bit. So a lot of things to look forward here in this 4x200 meter relay.
You gave us a great tip there. Look for the handoff. That gives you an idea with the stagger of who's ahead.
It does, and oftentimes individuals might see somebody way ahead and think that they're in front, but that whoever passes that baton first in these, especially in the 4x2, because of the stagger, you're going to have a good sense of who has the lead. The 4x2 is one of those tricky relays. It's not even run in every state. Go just across the border here in Kansas, 4x200 meter relay. So the handoffs, a little bit of a blind handoff, but you don't get out as quick as you do in the 4x1, but you still want to be safe in the process.
Okay, we see some tennis balls cut in half here. Those are markers along the track?
Yeah, those are the markers athletes use. Some will use tennis balls. Some places use tape, depending on the track. Some people don't want tape on their track, but typically that's where you see there, for example, lane three or lane 2, whatever. I can't really see, but so lane 3 there, typically that's where you're going to start taking off when that incoming runner's coming. When they get to that tennis ball, it's kind of your mark to say, I need to go. You're going to see him count his steps here from the big triangle. Again, it varies based upon the athlete and the teams, normally based upon how fast that individual is going to come in or how slow, to kind of help determine where you're going to take off. You want to make sure you get it on the right side of the exchange zone.
And we're off here in the boys 4x200. Good early move by Smithville.
Dustin's out pretty good on the outside as well.
That's Ruskin in lane 7.
Grandview's making a move there. That was our 100-meter winner.
A little bit of a mix-up on the handoff for Grandview, and that's going to cost him. Or Ruskin, excuse me.
Yeah, we just kind of talked about that. He didn't get out as fast and let him run up on him a little bit, so they had a little exchange problem. But he's trying to get back in a little bit, but this race is pretty even right now.
Grandview maybe with a handoff first.
It'll be a good finish here.
Smithville on the inside. There's the turn. They're coming for home. Chandler Steinmeier of Platte County with a late push.
Really a really strong finish here in the middle of the track by Platte County and Smithville. You know, the handoffs were solid for both of those teams on that third leg. As I stated, they all looked kind of even there coming off the third leg. But Platte County did a good job of powering through the finish line, but
wow,
we'll see.
It looked like Platte County right at the line, just ahead of Smithville. Chandler Steinmeier with a nice stretch. 132.25.
So the sweep for the Platte County ladies and the gentlemen.
More action to come. The 1,600 meters, boys and girls, when we continue here from Grandview. We have field events going on as well. We'll do our best to bring you the results of everything going on. And it's Alexa Ball of Smithville winning the girls' javelin at 34 meters, just ahead of her teammate, by about 5 meters there. Destiny Allen of Grandview was third. The javelin taking place behind us on the football practice field. So congratulations to Alexa Ball. And the girls' triple jump. Ava Lawless of Kearney. 10.69 meters. Juliana Lapercio of Winnetonka second. Carmen Spencer of Grandview third at 10.48 meters. Ava Lawless, your winner from Kearney. And of course, all these points are accumulating for a conference championship. And as a coach, that's a running total that maybe sometimes is hard to keep track of. Or do you know in your head a little bit about kind of where you stand with everybody?
You attempt to. I mean, most coaches, a lot of them are using their phones now and notes to keep track, and a lot of them are just writing it down. But a lot of times with posted results, you're able to get a good idea of where your team stands and how they're doing for the day.
The long jump going on as well. We'll have results of that, and we'll show you the girls' 1,600 meters when we continue here from Grandview High School, the Suburban Blue Conference Championships on Spectrum Sports. Stay with us. Back at the Suburban Blue Conference Championships, we are ready for the girls' 1,600 meters. Runners have come to the start line.
All right, ladies, you ready? On your mark.
And we're underway. Olivia Littleton of Smithville with the lowest seed time in this group. Vernon, is there a team concept to the 1,600 meters at this point, or is it all individual?
It varies. For most part, I think it's individual. However, a couple of teammates might try to push the pace a little bit, especially if there's one stronger, a little bit stronger than the other. They'll just try to push the pace a little bit, kind of like a pacer type. It might fall off a little bit, but I think right now it's kind of every runner for themselves. But, I expect even here, as you mentioned, Littleton and Cutler, teammates from Smithville, running in with similar times. One's about 5 seconds faster, but I still expect the Kearney runners to try to push the pace a little bit.
That's Lily Cutler leading the pack. Her teammate, Olivia Littleton, on the outside. Abby Elam from Kearney in the mix there, third, as they come around for the first time.
So we'll see this bunch kind of stay together for a little while. We'll see which run this, 5-6 runners decide to try to make a move and get out in front. We see Littleton starting to do that now. We'll see who'll go with her.
And this is a great strategy race, right?
It is. It is. Like I said, again, she went ahead and jumped in front. We'll see who wants to use energy now to stick with her versus just stay where they are and try to make a later push. But you don't want to get too far behind. You may not have enough later to make that move.
Good look at Olivia Littleton from Smithville High School. Lily Cutler, number 2, right behind her.
And at this point, we have teammates who are in front. However, one might came in with a faster time. We're talking about a conference championship, conference title on the line here. So, sometimes teammates go out the door, even though both, 18 points would be crucial here for Smithville. As we talked strategy earlier, we talked about the wind picking up. This is where you use the strategy as well.
Gracie Bomar of Kearney High School in there as well, right with her teammate Abby Elam. That's the 2 runners from Smithville leading the pack to the halfway point.
So again, we're going to get over to the backstretch, and they'll have the wind behind them a little bit. So we'll see if they try to use that to their advantage a little bit. Still have about 4 to 6, 7 athletes still kind of hanging out together.
Is that a smile from Lily Cutler as she's leading there?
I was going to say that. I can't tell if it's a smile or if it's a smile because the wind's behind me now. It's just enjoying it a little bit.
Her teammate Olivia Littleton right behind her. Gracie Bomar, Abby Elam from Kearney, staying with that lead pack.
Those 4 did come in with the top 4 seeded times.
Fourth place, third place, Grandview. Second place, Smithville. First place, time was 1 minute 32.25 seconds. Flat County.
They'll run into the wind here a little bit in this stretch.
That's Olivia Littleton who moves ahead. Lily Cutler still on her shoulder.
So a lap to go. We'll see here if any of the Kearney runners will try to make a move to the outside to get around, or if they'll just stay there for another 200 meters or so.
It's Lily Cutler opening up a little bit of a lead now in the backstretch.
You see really good arm action there from Cutler. And at this time in the race, athletes might be getting a little tired, but she's got good arm action there that's pulling her through.
A little glance over her right shoulder there, but she's still smiling.
We'll see who has the kick here. Cutler looks very strong right now, though.
Will Cutler have enough to hang on? Olivia Littleton in second. Lily Cutler turning it on. Past the grandstand and heading for the finish line.
Race for second place.
Can Littleton hold him off for second? Lily Cutler is going to get the win. Olivia Littleton was trying to hold on to second place.
Yeah, Leaf, you mentioned a few times there the smile or a smile-like appearance on her face, and you could just tell she looked really relaxed throughout most of that race. And once she got in front, she did not give up that lead again. Strong finish by Cutler.
That is the joy of competing right there. Congratulations to Lily Cutler. 5:37.67. It looks like Abby Elam from Kearney moved in there to get second. No, wait a minute, hold on. Was Olivia Littleton getting second? Looked like she had the
Smithfield coach there has to be happy with the performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
With his matching green glasses. As you see him actually talking to his runner about the arms rocking side to side, especially late in the race. Working to get your body a little bit wears you down a little bit more, especially in a distance race.
Trainer to the finish line, please. Trainer to the finish line.
So a nice 1-2 finish for Smithville. Gracie Bomar of Kearney finishes third. So we'll move to the boys 1600 meter. Caden Grigger of Ruskin High School with the lowest seed time.
Yes, just last week he knocked even more. He knocked 3 seconds off of his times just last week for his season best.
Andrew Early of Platte County on his shoulder. Carter Woods from Kearney. Rayvon Epperson from Grandview High School, number 4.
So we'll see them here, through the first 100 meters, kind of stay where they are. But once they get to the other side there, on the backstretch, they'll start jockeying for position a little bit. Which sometimes can get dangerous in these races. You see people accidentally trip people over, accidental elbow.
And we're off.
It's always interesting to see which runner's going to get out front to try to set the pace and which runners are going to be comfortable, kind of stand behind for as long as they can to decide to make a move, and how long they'll stay behind versus will they try to make a move after the first 100, after the first 400.
It's Caden Krieger of Ruskin High School with the early lead. Carter Woods from Kearney right behind him. Epperson from Grandview in third.
So unlike the ladies race, we already see Krieger looking to open up a gap early in this race and try to force the runners to extend a little bit more energy to keep up.
Is that a tough call early in the race when you see somebody break away a little bit to know how much you want to spend to reel them in?
It is, because you don't want to get too far behind. However, you don't want to use too much energy early on. Most runners kind of know their bodies by now, knowing what they can extend. So it is a tough decision to make because you don't want to get too far behind too early. But right now, he's opening up.
Carter Woods from Kearney in second. Jace Vaughn from Kearney as well in third. But pretty good gap opened up by Caden Krieger.
Looks to be running strong. Every once in a while you see them kind of peek over the shoulder to see how far behind they are. And it looks like he was coming in with 12 seconds faster than the next seed time.
He's got about a 7-second lead here. Caden Krieger on the backstretch.
Again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record a few times, but he just looks relaxed up front. Every once in a while he'll peek down and kind of look back, but he's feeling comfortable where he is right now.
Caden Krieger with a nice advantage.
And I think we'll still see him try to push this last 400 once he gets back to his bell lap, because again, we're looking to try to better on times for the year. You know, those things matter when it comes to seeding and things like that at district. So even though he has a healthy lead, I think he still wants to try to better his time.
There's the bell. Final lap for Caden Krieger. Ruskin High School.
You see him there actually. Looks like he's picking it up a little bit. It's tough sometimes when you're out in front by yourself, don't have anybody pushing you. Sometimes you have to kind of find it within. The unfortunate thing, you know, he has that lead today, but once we continue to progress through week after week from here on out, competition is going to be tougher.
Andrew Early from Platte County in second. Valuable points still to be had. This has been all Caden Krieger.
He's got a little pain on his face, but I think he's going to try to gear down and have a final kick here for the last 100.
Caden Krieger with an impressive showing. Across the line first for Ruskin High School. Looks like Andrew Early second. Kearney battling for third.
No, Krieger made the decision early on. He's going to get out in front. He's going to take over this race. He's going to force everyone else to kind of run with him, and no one else wanted to really do that this afternoon.
4 minutes, 36.14 for Caden Krieger of Ruskin High School, the winner of the 1,600 meters.
It's just off of his time from last week. So again, I think him and his coaches have to think that they're in a good place right now heading into districts as he'll look to better that next time out.
We'll take a break. More to come from the Suburban Blue Conference Championships. How about the 4x100 meter relay? You don't want to miss that. Coming up next here on Spectrum Sports. It'll be Winnetonka in lane 1, Ruskin in lane 2, Platte County lane 3, Raytown South in lane 4, Grandview in lane 5, Kearney in lane 6, and Smithville in lane 7.
So again, if you're watching at home, stick pass first, that's who's in your lead.
Set.
Kearney with a good start.
Good exchange there by Raytown South. Looks like They're in the lead, but just outside of them, Grandview is working.
Kayla Lottie running that second leg for Raytown South. And Kearney get the handoff. Now it's Raytown South and making the move.
Yeah, not a great exchange there from Grandview. Clean there to Ray South.
Akins pulling away. The fight will be for second place. Looks like it's going to be Platte County. Raytown South, obviously, with that great closing speed. Able to win it.
Want to see the exchange here for Raytown South. Really smooth exchange. Timing was perfect. Got out right at the right time. No, Grandview actually struggled there with the exchange. Ended up probably being disqualified because they didn't pass the exchange within the delegated exchange zone.
Great job, man.
You know, and there was a change last year that athletes didn't get a chance to really participate in, but the exchange zone was expanded to 30 meters to give them a little more space to run out. And makes a huge difference for some of these athletes who needs more run out room.
49.42 for Raytown South.
Michael Lane, Julian Rogers, Lonnie Akins, and Eric Freeman.
Increase on their seed time, and I thought their exchange on leg 3 was very strong as well, and I think that's what Raytown South and Grandview is kind of running neck to neck there on that third exchange, but that exchange right there made the difference in this race.
Are you coaching your athletes not to look at that exchange then? If you are the receiver, that hand is out and you feel that, almost kind of feel the runner on you when you start, and then just wait for that baton to get slapped into your hand?
It's all a timing issue, and that, as we looked at the tennis balls earlier and those things in the 4x2, the same holds true for the 4x1. You count out your steps because you're expecting when that runner comes in and gets to that mark, you're getting out as fast as you can, and you don't have time to look back. You should have time to throw that hand back. Again, that's the difference between some teams. Some teams will pass high, some teams will pass low and let them run up on them. So it kind of varies, but the big thing is timing and ensuring that you're getting out based upon the work that you've been doing all year.
All right, we get ready for the boys 4x100.
It's gonna be rough.
Platte County will be in lane 4.
Hey, that's good.
Run out, stand in front of them. Block holders, I need you to sit.
You're not using bronze?
No.
For the 4x1?
Ruskin High School in lane 5.
Move wherever you need to.
Winnetonka will be in lane 1. Smithville in lane 2. Grandview lane 3. Lane 5, Ruskin High School.
Not that old yet. Come on now.
So again,
Down south in lane 6, excuse me, in Kearney in lane 7.
Oh, sorry. So again, this is one of those races where patience is essential as well. Because everybody's bunched up, someone might try to get out way too fast and cause an exchange issue. So even though there might be a lot of things going on around you, you have to stay patient and wait for that baton to get to you.
Patience is a hard thing when you're running just a 100-meter length, isn't it?
It is, because one, you see everybody else coming in and you're starting to worry about, am I going to stay in this race? Am I behind? So some individuals might get out a little too fast and it just messes up the whole exchange and rhythm.
On your marks. Set. You can leave those down.
First handoff.
Looks like Platte County might have dropped the baton.
Monte Silas of Ruskin with a good leg.
Great exchange.
Holly Nelson takes it.
Great exchange on the anchor for Ruskin.
Jordan Holly Nelson holds off Grandview. Cortez Phillips running that leg for Grandview.
You want to see here on this first exchange there, Platte County had a little difficulty on the exchange. Actually, looks like the exchange wasn't too bad. Looks like as he pulled through, he dropped it. And we didn't see the exchange there for Ruskin, but their timing was excellent. And he was able to get out and maintain that lead as Grandview tried to run him down.
Uliasi Mungan, Jurl Dewberry, Monte Silas, and Jordan Holly Nelson carrying the load for Ruskin. 43.80.
Really good run for Ruskin there. Came in with a 44.49. Got under the 44-second mark. Really strong run. Really good job with their exchanges. A lot of work takes place, for these relay passes to go through. And, some days they go perfect. Some days you end up in a situation like Platte County. However, you got to pick it up and do it again next week or in 2 weeks.
How much do you practice those handoffs?
It varies. It really does. The teams that are what we call, I guess, veterans in it, who's been working together for a long time, they don't need as much work, but sometimes coaches are moving around pieces, so you have to put a little extended work on there. Some individuals are not as comfortable passing with their right hand or their left to their right, for example. So it really varies.
All right, more to come from Grandview High School, the Suburban Blue Conference Championships. The 400 meters coming up next here on Spectrum Sports. Stay with us. Here's the Suburban Blue Conference Championships boys shot put finals. Chase Farrell of Smithville, 15.24 meters. KJ Smith of Kearney is second. Zachary Grace, his Kearney teammate, third. I wasn't the only one trying to do the meters to foot equations, right?
You were definitely not wrong about that one. Looks like about 50 feet there for Jace, which is a pretty good throw.
Jace Farrell, the winner. And the boys high jump, Dante Cox of Smithville, 1.92 meters. Joey Schultz of Platte County tied him at 1.92. Zachary Proctor of Kearney finishes in a tie for third. Bennett Polite and Shondavian Bradley at Platte County, all at 1.77 meters. Look at some of that action. Oh, the old shot putters. Getting it done. And the high jump here at the Suburban Blue Conference Championships on Spectrum Sports.
Set.
Go, Abby, go! Go, Abby, go!
So many will argue 400-meter dash, toughest race, some will say, in track and field. See him on the back stretch again with the little wind behind him.
Again, sometimes with the stagger, it's hard to tell who's leading until they make the turn.
Hawkins from Grandview looks to be running good.
Kaya Hawkins of Grandview. Pushing to the finish. Bailey Cutler trying to catch her. Well, you can see the effects of that 400 meters, can't you, when they finish the race?
We'll need a block holder.
No, it's one of those races. We're going to see Hawkins down the home stretch here, and here's the thing, you know it's going to hurt. So you just have to figure out a way to finish the race anyhow. You know, that lactic acid starts building up, that pain starts hitting the leg. It's just about, I have to get through this finish line some way, somehow. I mean, you know, we say it's the toughest race potentially. I always say the 400 meters always is the toughest. You run it, you're sprinting 400, and you have to hurdle over something certain number of times. But you know, beyond that, the 400 meters, you know, the expectation is to straight sprint all the way around the track one time. Some individuals are conditioned to do it, and some are not. You know, some of them, you know, some have to take a little bit off on the back stretch and pick it back up, you know, around 200 meters. So we're going to see, for example, Zaya Akins here. We're going to see her go all out the whole race.
There's a good look at Zaya Akins, who's already shown her speed this afternoon.
Yeah, she has the top time right now in the state in the 400 meters, all class. 6 seconds faster than Luna here in this race. And Luna's actually a pretty good quarter miler herself. She's going to go run at Northwest Missouri State. So definitely not a bad runner. But as we mentioned earlier, Akins is, you know, on an elite level nationally, and we're going to see her go to work here in this quarter mile race.
Haley Luna will be to her outside from Platte County. That's Akins from Raytown South. Akins wastes a little time making up that stagger.
You know, and the key for me in the 400 is get through that first 100 as fast as you can, then go down that back stretch. Some individuals will take it back about 85%. Some will keep it going all the way, but looks like she stands steady all the way through. That means she's conditioned very well. You're going to see her power here through the last 150.
Zaya Akins making the turn.
You know, and the good thing for other runners is they have the potential to PR as well, because they're running with someone who's running at a, you know, at a faster pace.
It's Akins way in front. It'll be a battle for second. Akins wins easily. Haley Luna, as you thought, second.
And we saw Akins there not necessarily struggle, but it's harder than I've seen in a while down, you know, that this final 40 or 50 meters or so. A good job of using her arms there to kind of push through again. And by that point, you're tired. You're just trying to get to the finish line and just trying to finish, you know. And in this is a runner who's already run the 100, the 4x1. So to come back and run an open 4 at 58:46 is pretty good.
Zaya Akins makes it 3 for 3. Very steady performance. And takes first here at the 400-meter dash. Haley Luna, Platte County, was second. Emma Chevalier of Smithville was third. She makes it look easy, and I know that's a lot of hard work. Is it in her mind? Is that a steady pace? Are you trying to push it a little bit more as you get down the home stretch in the final 100 meters?
I mean, that's the goal. But sometimes your mind and your legs are telling you something different. Again, I mean, she's in tremendous shape, and that's the key to the 400, just being able to have that endurance and strength and speed to be able to push through. You know, it's, I mentioned earlier, that lactic starts to build up and your legs start to want to drag a little bit. You just have to have the strength and power to get through that last, typically that last 80, 60 meters.
And she's showing some great versatility. I mean, they're sprint events, but there's a pretty good range there too as well.
It is, and you know that's definitely a gift. It's definitely a gift to be able to have the speed, but even, you know, there's some individuals who can only go up to 100, but to be able to go from 100 all the way up, you know, all the way through 4 just tells the speed, the strength, and endurance.
Okay, so this will be the boys' 400-meter dash. Timed finals. There will be 3 heats. Best time takes the victory.
On your mark.
3 runners in this heat. Marion Lanier, Ruskin High School, Eric Freeman from Winnetonka, and Widner Lewis of Grandview on the outside.
Set.
Little slip there from Lanier.
A good job of making that up a little bit.
He sure did. Eric Freeman of Winnetonka in the middle. Widner Lewis in the gold and blue of Grandview. Or excuse me, Ruskin.
So this is where that pain started to kick in a little bit. And you'll see again, you can kind of tell from facial expressions, and sometimes your form starts to break down, but we're going to see who has the strength there to endure to finish.
Lanier of Ruskin High School. Recovers. Just a little bit of a stumble out of the blocks.
Yeah, you actually can see his block slip there a little bit. And we talked about that earlier, why you like to have someone sitting strong on him, but he still found a way to persevere and run close to 4 seconds faster than his seed time. That 400 hurts.
One of my first assignments in radio was covering the KU relays, and I had to get the winner of the 400 meter right after they finished. I believe it was Cliff Wiley of KU, and I remember, can't talk now.
That's one of my greatest pet peeves, watching if it's the pros or the college athletes. Like, soon they get done with the race, someone's trying to interview them.
The 400 especially, right?
All right, gentlemen, stand by your blocks, please.
All right, second heat now for the boys' 400 meter dash.
On your marks.
Good look at Jake Gregory there of Kearney High School. Joey Engel of Smithville on the inside. Najee Simpson from Raytown South in lane 3. Old Dang of Winnetonka in lane 6. David Franklin from Grandview in lane 7.
Gregory's already broken the stagger, looking really strong out there in the middle of the track. Powering through the curve there. We'll see if anyone's going to be able to try to make a move here in the final 125.
It's Jake Gregory of Kearney. Ajay Simpson trying to make a push. Boldang moving on the outside as well. Going to be close. Ajay Simpson with a nice kick.
Simpson made a strong move there. You kind of see Gregory starting to kind of fade there in the last 50. Simpson made a move.
Discus, girls shot put, boys pole vault, girls high jump, boys long jump. First call, boys and girls 300-meter hurdles. First call.
Good start there by Gregory. But as I said, sometimes you get down that home stretch and the legs don't go, they don't go as fast as you want them to go. But Harrison Simpson was able to make the move, though, and take advantage.
Grandview, lane 3, Jackson Crowley of Black County. Lane 4, Kyle Hunt of Kearney. Lane 5, Ty Chapman of Smithville. Lane 6, Joseph Marshall of Kearney.
See Gregory there talking to Logan Oriano, another quarter miler for Kearney, who's sitting out this week. Now, one of the top quarter milers in the state, went 48 seconds as a freshman a couple years ago. Of course, the pandemic hit, didn't get a chance to run last year. Hopefully he can get back within the next couple weeks to compete in districts.
Ajay Simpson, your leader thus far, after 2 heats, 54.46.
Give a white flag, we'll start.
And here's the final heat for the boys, 400 meters.
Start a red flag.
Kyle Hofer, Kearney High School, in lane 4.
Yeah, Hofer's been consistent this year in his open 4. If he runs good on this backstretch, he might be able to try to get under 52 seconds this afternoon.
We'll see Brian Jennings of Platte County in lane 1. Daryl Grimmett from Grandview in lane 2. Jackson Crowley of Platte County in lane 3. There's Hofer in lane 4. Ty Chapman, lane 5 from Smithville. Joseph Marshall from Kearney in lane 6. Went and rolled from Raytown South in lane 7.
All right, gentlemen, stand by your blocks.
Ronaldo
On your mark.
Exonville from Minnetonka in lane 8.
Chapman's another runner to watch in this race. He's been pretty strong over the month of April and looking to build on his time as well. So with him running next to Hofer, should be a good run.
Chapman will be in the green on the outside of Kyle Hofer.
Set.
Hofer with a good start.
On the cart back here for us. Thank you.
He's already made up the stagger. Good stride. Really strong. Shoulders relaxed.
Hofer makes the turn. Does anyone have the kick? Quentin Roll from Raytown South, challenging on the outside.
Good race here. He's going to have the strength to finish it.
Like Hofer may have had it at the line. Congratulations from the two sides. Roll made a nice charge.
Yeah, Hofer had a very strong finisher. I thought he ran a very good race there on the backstretch. You know, caught up on the stagger really fast, stayed long in his stride along the backstretch. Was able to finish it to get the win.
Kyle Hofer, the winner at 51.89.
Good run by Hofer.
You thought he had a chance to go sub 52?
I thought so. Again, sometimes that win on the backstretch is just enough to help pick up just a little bit of time to help you push through.
Second call, boys and girls, 300-meter hurdles. Final call, all third flight field events. That's boys discus, girls shot put, boys pole vault, girls high jump, and boys long jump. Final call, third flight field events. Boys discus, girls shot put, boys pole vault, girls high jump, and boys long jump.
So we see with Kearney, with Hofer, and we saw Gregory in heat number 2. They're able to get Ariano back. Might have enough pieces to be able to put together a strong 4x4 team to make a run through district, sectionals, and state. It was always tough, especially at the high school level, to be able to have a squad that has more than 1 or 2 really strong quarter milers. But you see they have 3 that are capable of doing it. We'll see here what they have in regards to intermediate hurdlers. But, you know, a lot of good 4x4 teams will grab a couple 400-meter runners. Some of them might grab their best long hurdler. Some might pull someone off of that 800 meters to piece 4 people together for a strong 4x4. So, again, a lot of choices coaches have to make going into these final weeks.
Congratulations to Kyle Hofer, the winner of the boys 400-meter. Coming up next, 300-meter intermediate hurdles in the Suburban Blue Conference Championships here on Spectrum Sports from Grandview. Welcome back to Grandview High School. Lee Fleisig, Vernon Birmingham with you as we get set for the girls 300-meter intermediate hurdles. The 400 meters may be the toughest event, but I can't imagine this one would be far behind.
Yeah. I put this one at the top. I mean, we saw the pain of individuals' faces as they came down the backstretch earlier, but we'll see it to a whole nother extent here at the end of the 300-meter hurdle.
2 heats run here. They're timed heats, and the low time of the 2 heats will be the winner. So this is heat number 1. Autumn Ash in lane 5. Alexandra Macias in lane 4. Amelia Weddington in lane 3.
So the key here, we're seeing them trying to, as you're getting tired, what you want to do is not chop your steps. You want to try to stay long, stay extended through, and that's where that conditioning plays in. But you want to, as you see there, the steps kind of got messed up there and had to stop the step over. But as that fatigue kicks in, it's hard to stay long, stay steady.
Alexandra Macias.
Final results of the boys javelin. In 6th place, Gavin Warren of Kearney.
Autumn Ash battling there to the finish.
4th place, Mark Crawford of Raytown South. 3rd place, Adam Hoffman of Kearney.
As we see right there in lane 5, very strong up to this point. No chopping steps. Form stayed solid through that hurdle. We saw kind of stop and stutter there as our steps kind of were thrown off. And most hurdlers, some of them will count steps between hurdles. Some of them just flow through them. But, a lot of individuals have a goal of at least trying to be 15 to 17 steps through hurdles, depends on the athlete.
Alexandra Macias is the winner of the first heat. So now heat number 2. Ava Filger from Platte County will be in lane 1. Brooklyn Ritchie from Smithville in lane 2. Morgan Wood in lane 3 from Kearney. Amaya Davis from Winnetonka in lane 4. Salzman from Platte County in lane 5. Ava Lawless in lane 6 from Kearney. Gianni Thompson from Raytown South outside in lane 7.
Davis will be the one to watch here in lane 4. Highlighted her during the 100-meter hurdles. Really strong 300-meter hurdle. You'll see her keep stride.
from the gold in lane 4. Long strides.
Ashley Wood, Salzman from Platte County is running a good race.
Mia Salzman. Battling Davis. Maya Davis pulling away.
Not breaking stride, just keeping good technique.
One more to go. So Maya Davis, followed by Morgan Wood. Maya Davis does look comfortable going over the hurdles, doesn't she?
She does, and again, it's conditioning. You see the pain on the face, but her form doesn't break. Her stride doesn't break. Some individuals will get to the hurdle and shorten their steps or start to stutter step. But you see her stay fluid all the way through. And coming in, she had one of the top 5 times in the state thus far this season. So again, one of the premier hurdlers here in the state.
Looks like Morgan Wood from Kearney, followed by Ava Lawless. Kearney as well, but so Maya Davis taking the 300-meter hurdles.
We didn't see it. Well, I didn't see it immediately, but we saw a hurler go down during that race. But again, that's sometimes where that technique and that fatigue starts to kick in, where your form gets off a little bit. We'll see it here from Platte County. Didn't get the lead leg up high enough. Kind of looked like intended to jump it versus hurdle, and took a spill there.
Mia Salzman right back up to finish the race, though. And a good run from Amaya Davis of Winnetonka. So we'll get ready for the boys 300-meter hurdles. Again, this will be 2 heats, timed heats.
Lane 2, Caitlin Ward of Winnetonka. Lane 3, Charles Pickens of Grandview. Lane 4, Christopher
Nicholas Harlan from Smithville in lane 1. Caden Wirt from Winnetonka in lane 2. Charles Pickens from Grandview will be in lane 3. Christopher Lemons in lane 4 from Raytown South. Michael Lane from Winnetonka. In lane 5, Spencer Hay. Lane 6 from Platte County. Landis Johnson of Kearney will be in lane 7. And Dominic Spears in lane 8 from Platte County.
800-meter run.
Is there much carryover from the 110-meter hurdles to the little longer one?
There's some carryover. I probably shouldn't say this, but sometimes in the 300 hurdles, you can get a little, not necessarily sloppy, but it doesn't have to be as pure technique-wise, because you have a lot of work room in between. You saw there even in those, sometimes lead legs get off a little bit, trail legs are not as sharp, not as much snap down over the hurdle. You see individuals float a little more over the 300. So, but the strong ones like to stay as technically sound as they can, even through the distance.
Good look there at Caden Wirt from Winnetonka. He'll be in lane 2. Charles Pickens from Grandview on his outside shoulder. From Raytown South with a good start.
Looks like Michael Lane.
Yep.
He's looking good as well from Winnetonka. He's a youngster, freshman.
Lane trying to pull away. Spencer Hay from Platte County on his outside. And at the finish, Christopher Lemons from Raytown South made a charge as well. It looks like Christopher Lemons.
See the backs, you see the final straightaway here, and you see the pain in the face. You see Michael Lanes there in front. You see him starting to overstride there, you know, over the last couple of hurdles. You know, saw Raytown South able to make a push there. It looks like Michael Lane had enough just to get through.
It is Michael Lane. 43.62.
Johnny McElroy of Kearney. Lane 2, Javon Hampton of Ruskin. Lane 3, Jalen McGee of Grandview. Lane 4, Chandler Steinmeier.
Winnetonka runner.
Lane 5, Rhett Foster of Smithville. Lane 6, Luke Nolan of Kearney.
Christopher Lemons, Raytown South. Close second. Followed by Spencer Hay of Platte County.
Sorry, and things about these 300 hurdles, a lot of individuals don't quite realize it's a sprint. It's a sprint through all of these hurdles, and to be able to do it and keep your technique and form sound, it takes a special type of athlete.
Well, fatigue is one thing in, say, a 400, but then when fatigue sets in and you've also got to clear a couple of hurdles to go, that's a whole nother kettle of fish.
8 of them, and there's times I've had athletes look at me like I was crazy when I suggested 300 hurdles, and of course at high school it's 300, but these athletes on the summer circuit, it's 400-meter hurdles, and they're really not happy about that.
So Michael Lane of Winnetonka is the leader, and we get ready for our heat number 2.
Looks like they need to raise a few more of the hurdles, or fix them. Looks like, yeah, it looks like one of them's crooked there.
Of course, that's key as the runners get their timing, their steps down.
It is, and just like we talked earlier with relays and things as such, same thing with these intermediate hurdles. You'll kind of know who's in the lead by who's going over the hurdles first. You have 3 of the top 10 times in the state in this race right here.
Rhett Foster there of Smithville. Chandler Steinmeier of Platte County. Just inside him in lane 4, Jalen McGee from Grandview will be in lane 3. Javon Hampton from Ruskin in lane 2. This ought to be a good one. Like Rhett Foster's off to a good start.
Foster has a slight lead early on, looking very good. You see his form's looking really good. Trail legs looking strong over the hurdles.
Rhett Foster starting to open up a lead. Steinmeier trying to close. Rhett Foster clears the final hurdle.
Very strong race by Foster. He took control of that race early on. I always look to see who's going to be the first one to the first hurdle, and he was there very quickly. See him down the home stretch here. He's, a lot of athletes are powering through, but one thing you look at when you see this replay, his form stayed consistent and strong all the way through. And even on that last hurdle, a little bit of trail leg hit it, but because he had good momentum, he was able to power through.
Rhett Foster at 39.73, followed by Chandler Steinmeier of Platte County and Jalen McGee of Grandview. Pretty close race as you predicted. Luke Nolan of Kearney close 4th as well.
Trainer, please report to the start-finish line. Trainer, please report to the start-finish line. Third and final call. Boys and girls, 800 meter run. Third and final call. Boys and girls, 800 meter run.
So let's take a break. More to come from the Suburban Blue Conference Championships here at Grandview High School. The 800 meters coming your way next on Spectrum Sports. I guess you don't have to know which one Lily Cutler is. She's smiling and dancing already as we get ready for the 800 meter girls. Riley Kohanowitz, her Smithville teammate alongside. Bryn McGee from Platte County, also among that group.
We'll see who takes the lead early on, who wants to get out front and kind of be the pace setter. Looks like it's going to be McGee. You know, we saw a lot of these runners earlier in the 4x800 relay, so some of them we haven't seen since. So 3 hours off. And some of them we'll see how their rest and recovery went. But like McGee and Anderson.
Bryn McGee from Platte County, her teammate, Allie Anderson. And now it's Lily Cutler moving in front.
So again, Cutler was comfortable kind of staying in the back for a little while and making a move. Again, I talk about the 400 meter hurdles. I talk about the 400, the 800 also falls into line with those tough races because, you know, some individuals will call it 800 a sprint all the way through.
It's Lily Cutler from Smithville opening up a little bit of a lead now. Her teammate Riley Kohanowitz behind her.
Again, opening up this type of lead with 2:50 to go is going to force everyone else to try to extend more energy to try to make that push to close the gap.
Bryn McGee from Platte County moves into second. Will they be able to catch Lily Cutler?
Yeah, she's looking strong coming off the curve. See who has the better kick here. And she's looking good, looking strong.
Lily Cutler down the stretch.
Great arm action there from Cutler to finish this.
They're not going to catch her. Lily Cutler of Smithville wins it.
7-1, 2-3-5-4, 7-1.
Really strong finish there from Cutler. You saw her arms really moving high, and I always tell our runners when you're getting tired, overextend like that arm action.
The smiling assassin makes her move. Takes the lead and she wouldn't give it up.
Yeah, she made that move about 300, 325 meters into the race. And again, some individuals are comfortable sitting back and letting everybody else take the lead early on, knowing exactly when they're going to make that move. And she ran a very strong 225.
Congratulations to Lily Cutler. Bryn McGee of Platte County was second. Abigail Smith of Kearney finishes third.
A really smart race by Cutler. Again, some individuals are okay pushing from the front and trying to lead it all the way through. But you saw Cutler there. She just was comfortable staying back for a little bit. And when she made the move, as you said earlier, Lee, she wasn't going to give it back up. And by continuing to kind of get a gap there, she kind of forced everyone else to use more energy than they maybe anticipated at that point.
So good afternoon already for Lily Cutler as we get ready now for the boys 800 meters. Good jump over at the pit. We'll have the results of the girls' high jump for you.
Second place, Platte County, 88. In first place, with 97 points, Kearney.
There you go. Guys, you'll step up to this curve line here. Yeah, everybody still on both lines.
Time for one more jump here before we get the start of the boys' 800 meters.
First ball, boys and girls, 200 meter dash. First ball, boys and girls, 200 meter dash.
Just catches the bar there. All right, for the boys, 800 meters. See Reggie King of Grandview High School. Carter Woods of Kearney. Rayvon Epperson from Grandview High School as well. Kyler Chappell among the lowest times coming in. Chase Trimble, who we've seen already this afternoon for Platte County in the orange on the outside.
All right, gentlemen. On your mark.
Boys 800 meters.
So King is the one runner coming in under sub 2 in this race, and we'll see what type of strategy he has in place. Is he one of those runners who like to get up front and lead it, or is he going to kind of run with the crew for a while until he decides to make that move?
Noah Thurston from Kearney High School in the lead. Now it's Carter Woods taking control from Kearney.
We see the Kearney runners pushing the pace a little bit through 250.
Go with them now. You got it in you to go with all these guys. Let's go now.
Kyler Chappell. Carter Woods.
The lead runners got through 400 about 101. So again, they're pushing the pace, so they're going to, force Reggie King to try to open up a little bit, maybe earlier than he anticipated.
King sitting in third place right now. Kyler Chappell. Will anyone have the kick to catch him?
So if he's going to make a kick, it'll probably be around 125, 100. Like the lead runner's going to strip. He's trying to kick a little bit.
Here comes King. He's moved into second place. Will he have enough time? He's making a charge. But it's not going to be enough. Good race run by Kyler Chappell of Kearney.
He did a good job of, you see him in second place right now. He's going to go ahead and take the charge and make the move to get in front, kind of take the pace over itself. It had enough to finish it off. Really strong race there. So again, he went with the strategy of trying to get out front and push the pace and lead it all the way through. And along with his teammate, they were able to kind of set that pace. And looks like King was comfortable staying where he was, thinking he was going to have enough to make that move later. But Chappell did a good job of getting out front and never looking back.
2:03.87 for Kyler Chappell. Reggie King from Grandview finishes second. Carter Woods of Kearney was third. Noah Thurston, also of Kearney, finishes fourth. but a strong race from Kyler Chappell. Much more to come from the Suburban Blue Conference Championships here at Grandview. At the 200 meters, coming up next here on Spectrum Sports. Back to the Suburban Blue Conference Championships, track and field. Great pole vault there. Kearney's been strong. Raytown South with a high jump. We're ready for the 200-meter girls and boys.
Smile of relief.
Lee Fleisig, Vernon Birmingham with you. And these are timed heats, so timed finals. So 3 heats, 3 runners in this first heat. Nick Taylor from Ruskin was to be in lane 3. And Elisa Keels of Winnetonka. John Neese Essex, her Winnetonka teammate on the outside. So to speak, too. Vernon, what's the key in this 200 meters?
Again, for me, it's real similar to the 100 in regards to your start. You know, even in the 200, you want to have an effective dry phase and really maneuver yourself through that curve. You know, be powerful through the curve, come off the curve tight. You know, try not to come off too wide and try to power through the stretch.
This will be Johnny's Essex from Winnetonka in our opening heat. .75. So 2 more heats to go. And again, low time will take the title. Good look there at Hannah Rouse of Smithville in the green.
In lane 7, Hannah Rouse.
Lisa Hand from Kearney will be inside her in lane 6. Holly Bratney from Platte County in lane 5. Shelby Flanagan from Kearney in lane 4. Zaire Robinson in lane 3 from Winnetonka. Angel Blaylock runs from Ruskin in lane 2. Leah Sewell from Ruskin in lane 1.
So again, as we talked about the curve earlier, I'm looking at them coming off the curve. And I say loop, not coming off too wide. You know, try to stay as tight inside as you can and get downhill as quick as you can. Often we see with young runners, they loop out too wide and have to use a lot of energy to get back downhill. So that's what I'm looking at here, coming off the curve in the 200.
So you're riding that line as close as you can.
That is what I teach our runners to do. It's tough. You're not really looking, but you should try to get in the habit of just staying tight. You know, some runners will angle their blocks even at the start to ensure that they're running down the line. So it's a little strategy there. Some individuals will use it, some will not.
Angle the blocks more to the inside to kind of force you to go inside. Okay.
Kind of going downhill from the start, especially if you're in one of these middle to outside lanes.
Larry Robinson of Winnetonka with a good start. Angel Blaylock inside her. Molly McBratney trying to make a charge. Zaire Robinson across the finish line first.
Robinson had a really good start there.
.24.
I see Robinson powering down the the stretch there, driving her knees, pumping those arms.
Good charge there from Molly McBratney. That'll bring us to our third heat. And we'll get to see one of the stars of the afternoon, Zay Akins from Raytown South.
She's definitely looking to improve on her seed time. She hasn't run the 200 in a while. Even then, she's still coming in with one of the top 5 runs in the state this year. And you know, already tonight in the 200, in the first 2 heats, we've seen individuals improve on their seed time. So we look for Akins to do that here as well. You know, last night I was at a meet at Park Hill High School and saw 2 school records go down, with Jasmine Newberry from Staley running 24.69 and Kalia Johnson from Park Hill going 24.13. So I expect Akins to push low 24 in this run here.
Riley Smith from Platte County in lane 1. Haley Luna, Platte County in lane 2. Emma Chevalier from Smithville in lane 3. Akins will be in lane 4 in the red and black. Jaden Barnes in lane 5 from Kearney. JD Weston from Grandview in lane 6. Nia Shields in lane 7. As you'd expect, Akins off to a good start.
Ready broke stagger. Strong through the curve. Tight on the curve. Really strong run here.
Akins running strong and breaking away. No doubt about it. Zay Akins with another strong performance. I was going to ask you if you had a sense for what her best event would be, but it's almost any event you throw her into, wouldn't it?
She's going to be very good in everything right now. She ran a high-quality race there. Everything I just mentioned prior to the race, you saw there. Great start, great dry phase. Ran really tight on that curve. You'll see came off the curve really tight, got downhill, and really good knee drive and arm action. So again, 24.56 for Akins.
She's your winner.
Again, we talk about arm action a lot. We talk about hip to cheek. See. Head, stand steady.
JD Weston leading the charge for second, but it was a close finish. In fact, I don't know if maybe Luna didn't get that. A great timing system here at Grandview. We'll get a chance to see who finished second, but it was very, very close. 2 through 5. Zaya Akins is your winner.
And again, that's what I love about your conference championships and your districts, things like that, because you're going to get the best from everyone. And you saw there in that race with a close finish, you know, even though Akins was well ahead, we saw everyone else, you know, battling out
Our next event is the boys
getting those second, third spots.
This event will be run in 3 heats. Heat 1 will feature in lane 3, Craig Slaughter of Raytown South. Lane 4.
Akins will get a well-deserved break now as we watch the boys 200-meter dash. Again, 3 heats.
Simpson of Raytown South.
Timed final here, so the lowest time will take it.
All right, gentlemen, stand by your blocks, please.
Najee Simpson closest to you in lane 6 from Raytown South.
Starters, please hold. Starters, please hold.
He had a white flag.
Wilson Alajabu from Winnetonka in lane 5. Ronaldo Axonville from Winnetonka in lane 4. And Craig Slaughter from Raytown South will be in lane 3.
We have a couple of the Raytown South runners coming in with no times, no seated time, so sometimes you don't know if you're going to get someone who might come out and blow away the field or someone that just hasn't ran it this year.
Set.
Let's go!
Slaughter from Raytown South making up some room. Najee Simpson, his Raytown South teammate, leading the way. Najee Simpson takes this opening heat in the boys 200 meter.
Yeah, I think Simpson had little recovery time. We saw him not too long ago in a run, but he came out strong there in this 200 meters.
24.73 for Najee.
Some power in there through the finish line.
Lane 5, Howard Chapman of Kearney. Lane 6, Joshua Nelson of Platte County. Lane 7, Chandavian Bradley of Platte County. And in lane 8, Kamani Akins of Winnetonka.
So it'll be heat number 2. Now the boys 200 meters.
Second call.
Joshua Nelson there of Platte County. Chandavian Bradley, his Platte County teammate, will be in lane 7. Kamani Akins from Winnetonka will be on the outside lane.
Stand by your blocks, please. On your mark.
Mike Moore from Ruskin, lane 1. Jaden Burnett, lane 2 from Platte County. Javon Hampton from Ruskin in lane 3. And Jet Coleman from Smithville, lane 4. Think mom and dad knew he was going to be a sprinter when they named him Jet? You have no choice but to be a sprinter, do you?
Go, Scott. Let's go. There you go.
All right, T3.
Jet gets out to a pretty good start. And Davian Bradley running strong for Platte County as well. Inside him is Joshua Nelson. It's Coleman from Smithville. Looks like he's across the line first.
Yeah, Coleman had a really good start. I think that's where he won this race, was from his start. He did a good job of getting out, getting into that curve. And it was just enough to pull him through down the stretch. No, and it's a tough thing. Sometimes it's tough for some of these 200-meter runners. We'll see all the runners come off the curve. You see how tight he is on the curve. You know, for some of these runners, it's tough because they haven't done anything since the 100 or 4x2. So, you know, you're sitting around for a couple hours, and it's about how do you get yourself back up, you know, get yourself ready to run again. And so, you know, sometimes it's a mental piece of that as well. So, you know, good job there by Coleman, getting himself ready to run, running a strong race.
So he'll get a chance to watch the final heat now of this 200-meter dash. His teammate Noah Ricker there in the green. Quentin Roll from Raytown South on the outside. See him getting into the blocks.
On your mark.
Kalen Wright in lane 1. Vincent Wilson in lane 2 from Grandview. Gerard Weddington from Grandview in lane 3. Will Dolliner from Kearney. Joseph Marshall, his teammate, in lane 5.
Set.
Monte Silas from Ruskin in lane 6.
A lot of runners here with similar times coming in.
when he was on the ginger.
Weddington from Grandview in lane 3 with a good start.
He's about next to last.
Silas in lane 6. Monte Silas from Ruskin. Trying to hold off the charge from Weddington.
Thank you. Let's go, Silas.
Good race.
My bag's over there. Monte Silas. I'm sorry. Bro, Monte Silas. Bro, it's a big time for us now.
Like a Monte Silas from Ruskin.
See all the runners come off the curve there. Silas, really strong run. Good job of being tight on that line. Had enough just to power through as runners on the inside were coming down in lanes 2 and 3. And Silas had just enough.
Wasn't by much. Weddington with a good move from his left. Monte Silas takes it. Good arm action too, though. You were talking about the moving the arms up and down, not across the body.
And not only that, but sometimes when those legs don't want to work, it's those arms that are helping pull them through. So really good run there from Silas.
All right, more to come from the Suburban Blue Conference Championships. The 3,200 meters. Get set. That's coming your way next here on Spectrum Sports. Girls pole vault. Results are final. Maya Sullivan from Platte County clears it at 3.4 meters. Abby Schweeder from Platte County, 3.28. And Elizabeth Shaw from Kearney, 2.82. Congratulations, Platte County going 1 and 2. Boys javelin. Zachary Grace from Kearney takes it, 45 meters. Cade Fowler from Platte County right behind him at 44.42. And Adam Hoffman from Kearney, 42.72. And the boys triple jump. That's Jayla McGee from Grandview, 13.21 meters. Cartez Phillips of Grandview places second at 13.18. And Joey Schultz from Platte County, 12.65, is third. Girls long jump now. Reese Pickett from Platte County, 4.90 meters. Shell Thomas from Raytown South, 4.82. And Olivia Mintner from Platte County ties with Cameron Williams of Grandview at 4.75. More to come from the Suburban Blue Conference Championships, the 3,200 meters, girls and boys, when we come back here on Spectrum Sports. Stay with us. Welcome back to Grandview High School, the Suburban Blue Conference Championships. Lee Fleisick, Vernon Birmingham with you as we get ready for the 3,200 meters. Olivia Littleton of Smithville, Abby Elam of Kearney, and Heidi Adams, also of Kearney, front and center of your screen. Vernon settle in. 3,200 meters would be 8 laps, if my math is right.
8 laps. Most of these runners running anywhere between, normally about a 12-minute pace for some of them. Some of the better ones will be in the 11-minute range. So we'll kind of see what pace we get here.
Early on, that's Aggie Edwards from Kearney.
So Littleton did run the 1,600 earlier, so we'll see how she follows that up with 3,200.
That's a full day.
As long as Abby So the runners to kind of watch might be the ones who haven't ran much today.
Olivia Littleton of Smithville in the green, making a bit of a move. They come across the grandstands for the first time.
Typically, a lot of these runners are cross country or long distance marathon runners and things of the sort. So they're used to running long distances, but again, it's a lot different when you're running it
Final results
one around the oval
jump.
8 times, but doing it close and right next to someone. So kind of see how that goes with pacing, who's going to lead the charge or who's going to be comfortable to just stand within this first group of 5 right here. When is someone going to make a break?
It's a lot of lonely training. How many miles would a distance runner put in on a high school season during a week?
I think I'm using this phrase a lot tonight. It'll vary kind of based on the schedule for the week, especially this time of the year. We have, for example, a blue conference meet, varsity meet today, but there was earlier in the week a freshman meet. Some coaches will throw those talented freshmen who do varsity in that meet as well, again, to try to grab points in particular races. So, and the thing about distance runners, see this a lot, during the college years especially, but, a lot of these individuals run cross country. Then they go run indoor track, then outdoor track, then get right back at it again in the summer. So that's something I'm experiencing the last few years myself. I have a lot of runners who've been with me all the way through 8th grade, but once they get to high school, outside of them coming to get some speed training and speed work, I don't see them much because cross country training, or some of them might do some indoor track, but then high school season, then cross country training starts right away. As soon as school year is over. So different breed of people we have here with distance runners.
It's Olivia Littleton of Smithville High School leading the way. 2.5 laps in. It's interesting you mentioned speed training, because even in 3,200 meters, there's some speed training involved.
There is, and all distance runners typically get some type of speed training in, and you see that primarily at use at the end of these type of races. Even though they're tired, some of them dead tired, they have to find enough to try to sprint that last 100 meters, 150 meters when necessary to win a race. So speed training is still an important piece of the puzzle for a lot of these distance runners.
Good look at Olivia Littleton. Abby Elam right behind her.
So I mentioned earlier, I see right there moving up to second place, Taylor Geiger of Platte County, and she's one of those runners who hasn't done anything yet this evening. So probably the fresher one out the bunch, where she might be comfortable right now, just stand right here in the spot and making a move a little bit later in the race. And she's a senior at Platte County, actually going to go run at Missouri State University next fall.
Three laps down. Olivia Littleton still leading the pace. Now it's Abby Elam from Kearney who jumps ahead. Littleton back on the outside. Moves back into the lead. Will these runners at 3,200 meters, will they have a pace in mind and want to be reminded of that by their coach? Or if they're trying to maybe move out a little bit faster, try to push it earlier?
Well, some athletes need it, like we see here near the finish line there. Smith Smithville, sorry. Smithville's coach is, giving a little heads up on what time or what pace they're running at. Might see it all around the track. Some athletes or coaches is helping them out with their pacing. Looks like right now, Littleton opened up the gap a little bit. Again, the second, third place are going to be comfortable at this pace right now, and they're going to try to stay in her pocket, as we say. As we see there, starting to make a move to get back up front. And you'll see a little jockeying here and there. Some individuals are more comfortable running in front and want to run in front, while some are okay staying in that second spot until they need to make a move.
Olivia Littleton, Abby Elam right behind her.
The thing I like about Littleton right now, she looks relaxed. Again, ran a 1600 earlier, coming back and running a 32. You see her, kind of see her arms rocking a little bit, and some people will say it's not a huge deal within the distance races, and some running forms, especially with distance runners, it's just hard to break, and you just kind of deal with it.
Oh yeah, we saw a little high jump here as the runners were going by.
High jump or gymnastics, I don't know what was working for there, but it's like that's the new trend over there at the high jump pit right now.
Not the Fosbury flop, I guess. Olivia Littleton from Smithville High School beginning to open up a bit of a gap.
What's impressive about many of these runners, sometimes it seems like they're getting stronger as the race goes on. Again, that's the conditioning, that's the sometimes some of the speed work that's in play. You always wonder how they're getting faster on lap 6, lap 7, and lap 8. But it's a lot of hard work that goes into this for these distance runners. And again, to be able to come back and run a 1 mile race. We're not just talking about going out for a mile run or 2 mile run. We're talking about actually racing. So it's a different mentality there, a different little energy being exerted.
Quick look over her left shoulder there. I'm sure she's run enough races to know that what her pace is or what her feeling is ahead of the competition. We can see the wounds on the knees. She's probably taken some falls over the last few weeks, but when you don't have somebody in front of you, when you're the leader and you start opening up a lead like this, is it harder to keep your pace when you open up that big a lead?
For experienced runners, I don't think so. Again, the good thing that's helping her out right now is you see there's a coach there at the finish line kind of shouting out instructions, shouting out times. And a lot of schools, sometimes you'll see coaches spread out all around the track, kind of giving insight and input to help guide them. And even on the backstretch, looks like I see Smithville's camp is set up over there, so it could be somebody over there yelling at them as well. But she's running comfortably right now.
See the Kearney coach is there yelling to his runners. Yep.
Like she didn't panic earlier when Abby made a move. She kind of stayed her race, running her pace, and again made the move when it was necessary to get back in front. And looks like she's going to comfortably be there for the remainder of this race right now.
Olivia Littleton at Smithville High School.
You know, and I wouldn't be surprised here to see her even turn it on for this last lap.
Bell lap for Olivia Littleton.
Final results of the girls 200 meter dash in 6th place.
As she goes across that start finish line, there is a clock that she could see.
4th place, Janie Wesley, Grandview. 3rd place, Janie Martin.
She'll know exactly where she stands.
First time I've seen her look back to kind of see what pace she needs to go at to finish this. Very impressive run by Littleton again after running a 1600 really not too long ago to come back to run a 2-mile run.
Yeah, about 2 hours. That's not a lot of recovery time, is it?
It's not. If I went out and ran a 1600, I'll need 2 days.
Littleton makes the turn and heads for home.
Took a glance on her watch herself. Came in with 11:20 seed time, so below that. But again, impressive run, impressive outing. And again, you don't know if that seed time came from when she only ran a 3200 potentially. So.
Her second race of the night is a good one. Olivia Littleton takes the 3,200 meters. Heidi Adams, Kearney High School. I believe Abby Elam took second. Taylor Geiger among the top 3 as well.
Gold will still have a lap to go.
As they continue to show Littleton, it's one of those moments where you don't want to go up and ask her for an interview after that
after
run.
the 3,200, yeah. I'll keep that in mind.
Except you never know. Some of the kids would love to get on TV right now, even being dead tired.
Aggie Edwards from Kearney High School. As Littleton continues to cool down. Just over 12 minutes, 6 seconds for her 3,200 meters. Olivia Littleton with a strong performance for Smithville High School takes the 3,200 meters. The boys 3,200 coming up next from the Suburban Blue Conference Championship here at Grandview High School on Spectrum Sports. Welcome back to Grandview High School, the Suburban Blue Conference Championships. Lee Fleisick, Vernon Birmingham with you as we get ready for the boys 3,200 meters. Caden Krieger from Ruskin High School. Seen him run already once today. He's in the gold and blue. Andrew Early from Platte County. Jace Vaughn from Kearney. Asa Kellner from Smithville High School in the green. Number 4, 8 laps around the track.
On your mark.
And we're underway.
So Krieger is coming in as the one runner, sub 10, and as you mentioned, Leif, he won the 1600 earlier, so we'll see if he takes that same strategy in this race and looks to get out front early on and pace this run.
And he'll do just that on the backstretch. Jace Vaughn right behind him.
Final results of the girls'
Skidmore
shot put.
there as well.
In sixth place, Callie Brown of Smithville. Fifth place, Michaela Carr of Smithville.
Fourth place, Savannah Lane of Winnetonka. Third place, Arlette Lara of Winnetonka. Second place, Relia Zuniga of Winnetonka. And in first place with a throw of 11.01 meters, Braylon Rivera of Kearney.
Some people just look like distance runners, don't they? They look comfortable running when it's probably incredibly uncomfortable to run that distance at that speed.
Yeah, he looks relaxed. And again, I've said that a few times, but you know, one thing some runners like to do is get out front and not worry about having to catch people, and looks like that's his comfort zone. And even though it doesn't look like it's a large gap right now in a race at this distance, you know, even getting out a few meters ahead, it's going to force people to work a little bit harder.
Might just like the view from the front, huh? Chase Vaughn behind him.
Again, some of the other runners might be just wanting to stay with them to increase their times on the season. You know, some of them may have the conditioning to stay that pace all the way through, but even staying on his heel, staying in his pocket for a few laps is going to force them, or is going to force their time to be a little bit faster.
Andrew Early of Platte County making a little bit of a move. Now in second place. Early making a bid to take the lead.
We'll watch here and see if Krieger's okay with that for a lap or two, or if he's going to try to jump back in front. He may be content with just stand and let him do a lot of the heavy lifting for a little while.
Not exactly like a NASCAR race, but there is some slipstreaming there, right?
It is, and you know, I kind of compared a little bit, like you said, race car racing, but sometimes you might be driving on a road trip and might be going a little faster than you really want to, and somebody else will, you kind of trail them and let them go for a while, then you might switch back and forth. But you kind of see that a little bit here as well. He might be content with just standing in his pocket for another. I mean, he could probably go by him right now, but he might be okay just saying, I'm going to stick right here for a while and make a move after another 100 meters or so.
Andrew Early including Caden Krieger. Those two now have opened up a pretty good space.
It looks like Early participated in that 1,600 meter run as well, so both runners who already ran earlier taking the lead in this, and there's another pack of 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of behind them by about 25 meters.
It's Krieger and Early. Setting the pace at the halfway point.
When Early comes in, 10 minutes, 9 seconds. He's looking to improve on that tonight.
still with the lead. Krieger right on his hip. We talk about legs, arms sometimes getting tangled in, and they're essentially running in one lane here. Early still with the lead.
And the way I'm observing right now, this just looks like I feel Krieger's just content right now with staying where he is and will make a move sometime within the next couple laps.
Krieger pulling slightly ahead now. There's about an 8-foot lead. Two laps to go.
So we'll see here how much of a gap does he want. Not only that, but how much does Early have left in him to try to close this gap back up. Again, to kind of push the pace from the front for a few laps takes a little bit out of you, especially if you're going at a pace you really don't want to go at. As we see Ruskin's coach running back and forth across the field, shouting times. Some of the distance coaches get as good workouts during the meet as the runners.
No time to stop and tie your shoe, I guess, at this point, is there? Caden Krieger expands his lead and gets the bell. Final lap. We said it, Vernon. He was just kind of content to hang in the back pocket there and ready to make his move, and he did.
And very smart race. You know, you've been intentional in your strategy, especially after running the 1600 earlier. You can tell he had the energy to make a move early if he wanted to, as you can tell here from his final 400 here. I mean, he's running strong right now. He's just conserved the energy until he wanted to make the move, and strong race. Impressed by Krieger tonight.
Look over his left shoulder. Now he turns for home. Caden Krieger is going to make it the double at the Suburban Blue Conference Championship. Andrew Early ran a good race for Platte County.
Some final runners here, finding some kicks down the stretch.
Points still at stake.
what you mentioned earlier, I like the race that he ran too. And I don't know how many times they've run against each other this year, but he maybe was aware that he's going to have Kruger was going to have the stronger kick at the end. So he said, let me try to push the pace a little bit and stay in this as long as I can. And worked to his advantage tonight, even though he didn't win it. He came in second and ran a decent time.
Andrew Early of Platte County's second. It was Andrew Johnson. You talk about that kick at the end. I think that pushed him through for third place for Platte County. One more look at Caden Krieger in the race that he ran. Took the lead early, then allowed Andrew Early to lead for a while and hung right there at his hip.
Yeah, it's just kind of stayed right there until he was ready to make a move. And again, probably coming in, he was like, if I'm in the lead the whole time, great. But if not, I'm going to stay in a certain place and make a move at like 800 meters. And we kind of saw him do that this evening. So a really good run there by Caden.
Just over 10 minutes, 10 seconds.
Again,
another win for Ruskin. Let's move over to the pole vault for just a moment. We're 12 feet 6 inches.
I found out who I was. I knew who I was. I should have just ran.
So we look in here. Kearney athlete.
Final results of the girls' discus. In sixth place, Savannah Lane from Minnetonka. Fifth place,
We're going to give it a shot here.
Fourth place,
12 feet 6 inches.
Third place, Carney. Second place, Michaela Cole of Smithville. And first place, 36.30 meters, Kaylee Brown of Smithville.
John Timchak from Kearney. Timchak.
no, pole vault's one of those events in a meet like this where, you know, every school doesn't have pole vaulters. So to be able to steal some points here would be crucial for Kearney boys team who are having a good meet.
Lane 3 is Kearney, Shelby Singleton, Jaden Barnes, Layla Murphy, Morgan Wood. Lane 4 is Platte County.
Not quite. Good attempt, though, at 12 feet 6 inches. We got the highlight of the night, the 4x400 relay, coming up next here on Spectrum Sports. Back here at Grandview High School for the Suburban Blue Conference Championships. One of the highlights of the night will be the 4x400 meter relays. The girls will go first. This is always an exciting event. I love watching it, maybe as much as the 4x100.
My favorite event in track is the 400. The most exciting event in track is the 4x400. And a lot of times it's just excitement because a lot of the jockeying, you know, at the exchange zones and a good race, but also a lot of times points are deciding points are in play regarding championships. So it's always an exciting race, one of my favorite.
Ruskin High School will be in lane 1, Raytown South in lane 2. Kearney High School in lane 3. Platte County in lane 4. Smithville in lane 5. Winnetonka in the gold and maroon will be in lane 7. And Grandview High School in lane 8.
So this is one of those races where if you have a couple of really good quarters, they're in this race. If you have a strong 300-meter hurler, they could be in this race. If you have a strong 800-meter runner or two, they could be in this race. So a lot of different athletes to pull from for a 4x400-meter relay.
Set.
That's Winnetonka with a good start at the top.
So the runners are going to stay in their lane through the first 400. Second legs are going to break, stagger on the backstretch.
Fourth place to Carter Grandview. Third place, Zachary
Grace of Kearney. Second place.
In first place with a throw of 49.10 meters, KJ Smith of Kearney.
Winnetonka with a great start to this 4x400.
I can't tell her now if that's a Maya Davis who ran the 300-meter hurlers to go to the point I was just speaking about. And we have someone who can fly through 300-meter hurlers.
You know how to draft them too, don't you?
They should be good enough to run an open quarter.
There's the exchange.
So they'll make the break here on the back stretch. So right now, the pressure's a little bit on Winnetonka here. You know, such a strong opening leg. The pressure might be on the second runner to try to maintain that lead, which right now she's doing a good job of. I think from Platte County might be Bryn McGee, who ran the 800 and the 4x8 earlier.
Winnetonka still with a sizable lead.
You kind of see her forms breaking it down just a little bit. See, she has enough to power through.
Platte County gaining. Platte County really making a move now. Bryn McGee with a great leg.
And that's where that 800 power comes from now in that race, which is handed off to Allie Anderson, who also ran the 800. So they pieced their 800-meter runners in the middle of this race.
You have to feel like this falls right into the strength of Platte County right now, doesn't it?
Definitely does. And again, really good strategy there by their team here. And I would guess they would probably anchor it with Luna, who ran the quarter mile earlier and took second to Aiken. So again, really, opened it up with a couple 800-meter runners in the middle and end it with a quarter miler.
Allie Anderson will hand it off to Haley Luna. And Luna is off. Like Winnetonka still in second. But can anybody catch Haley Luna in Platte County?
They're running really strong right now. They came in with a seed time of 4:14.90, and I think they're going to better that pretty good this race.
Luna makes the turn. And heading down the stretch. Still looking strong. Haley Luna bringing it home for Platte County. Just over 4:09. An excellent time for Platte County.
So strategy is everything in that race, as we kind of spoke about. Winnetonka opened up with probably their strongest 400-meter runner to try to build a lead, where Platte County pieced their top two 800 runners in the middle, and that's where that gap kind of opened up. So this is the third exchange there when McGee handed it off to Anderson. Right there in a tight race. Anderson kind of opened up the gap, then Luna brought it home for the Platte County Pirates in the women's 4x4.
Bryn McGee with a great second leg in that race. Leads Platte County to the victory. Kearney was second, Winnetonka third, followed by Smithville.
Jordan Holly Nelson, Gerald Dewberry, and Daniel Williams.
And again, to better their time by close to 5 seconds in this race is really strong performance and really encouraging for them as they head into their district meet here in a couple weeks.
Abby Schweeder got it started for Platte County. Let's take a look at some girls' discus results as well. Kaylee Brown from Smithville, 36.3 meters. Michaela Carr, her teammate, just behind at 34.4. Braylon Rivera from Kearney, 33.92. Boys discus, it's KJ Smith from Kearney, Chase Farrell of Smithville, number 2, and Zachary Grace from Kearney is 3rd at just over 43 meters. Braylon Rivera wins the girls' shot put from Kearney. Leah Zuniga from Winnetonka, 2nd place. Arlette Lara from Winnetonka is 3rd. Her teammate Savannah Lane, 4th. And Michaela Carr from Smithville finishes 5th in the girls' shot put. Girls' high jump, it's Reese Pickett from Platte County, 1.57 meters. Essence Kendall from Grandview, 1.52. Andrew Schreiber from Kearney, 1.52 as well. Boys long jump, it's Luke Noland from Kearney, 6.85. Jalen McGee from Grandview had a busy night as well, 6.79. Boys long jump, Cortez Phillips, Grandview, finishes 4th, 6.05. He's had a good day in the field events as well. All right, so we're going to bring it home with the boys 4x400.
Platte County girls, thank you. Kearney girls, step back a little bit.
Good look at Smithville.
All right, fellas, stand in front of your blocks, please. We have a white flag.
They'll be in green.
Daniel, aggressive, unicorn, aggressive.
Platte County, the inside lane. Smithville in lane 3. Kearney lane 4. Grandview lane 5. Ruskin in lane 6. And Winnetonka on the outside.
So earlier during the quarter 400, talked about the strength of Kearney in regards to their 400-meter runner. So you see them coming in with the top-seeded time. So excited to see what they're able to do here.
Kyle Hofer for Kearney gets it started. Hofer's off to a good start. Daniel Williams for Ruskin.
Good finish there, good kick from Ruskin. We'll see who passes out the baton first.
Jordan Holly Nelson will take it for Ruskin. Joe Marshall for Kearney.
Stay in your lane.
Really good finish there from Ruskin.
Good move by Joe Marshall. Look at Joe Marshall making up ground.
So one thing we talked about earlier about the excitement of the 4x4, and one reason I love it at the high school level, everybody's on the sideline, running side to side, cheering their teammates on.
Marshall slowing down a little bit. Holly Nelson able to catch him.
Another great finishing leg there from Ruskin.
Ruskin with the kick thus far, and they get the exchange first.
But not a good exchange, so Kearney was able to jump back in front.
It's Jake Gregory for Kearney. That's the Youngman for Ruskin.
See if Kearney will keep the lead, or Ruskin will try to make a move at some point here. Looks like there we go.
Ruskin making the move. Fully O.C. Youngman.
So the question will be, did he make the move too early, and does he have enough to finish this?
Jake Gregory trying to fight back. Right now it's Ruskin in the lead. Earl Dewberry will take it for Ruskin. They get the exchange first. Kyler Chappell for Kearney.
Looks like it's going to be a good finish on our hands here.
Ruskin still with the lead. Does Chappell have a kick?
And Ruskin looked like they might be fading just a tad. He's dropping his chin.
Here comes Chappell. Down the stretch they come. As Chappell overtaking Ruskin. And Kearney will win it. Great race.
Good race all the way around. Love the legs of Ruskin on the first few legs to finish their race, but we saw Kearney there stay poised, didn't panic, finished it.
.331.77.
So this is the third leg here.
O.C. Youngman had the lead, but then Kyler Chappell able to run him down.
You can see there when the Ruskin runner, when their chins and heads start to drop in, that's that fatigue kicking in.
And the celebration is on.
Final results of the boys' 4,200 meter run. In sixth place,
Oh, you're right. There's nothing that brings the team together, though, in that final relay.
Fourth place, Isaiah Skidmore of Kearney. Third place, Andrew Johnson of Platte County. Second place, Andrew Early of Platte County.
Really exciting race all the way around.
10.03 seconds. Caden Krieger of Ruskin.
So Ruskin better at their time. Get into a great evening of track and field.
So it was Kyle Hofer, Joe Marshall, Jake Gregory, Kyler Chappell for Kearney as they take the 4x400 relay. Great full day at the Suburban Blue Conference Championships. Vernon Birmingham, what a great debut. Thank you very much for all your expertise and your help.
Thank you.
A lot of fun sharing the day with you. Big thank you to our Spectrum Sports crew. A monumental task, showing you more than 4 hours of track and field, but they were able to pull it off as always. Big thank you to our producer Sean Belden, who did a monumental job of putting it together. Thank you everybody. For our team here at Spectrum Sports, I'm Lee Fleisig. We'll see you next time.